Hello friends, my name is Akhil Goel and I have secured 251 rank in Civil Service Examination 2015. Thank you so much. I just want to know, will this be your first attempt or second attempt? First attempt. So you all have started preparation since 2016 or 15? 16, okay. All right. So I will just try to brief about the examination changes that have occurred in the last few years and then try to focus on the importance of prelims. Because since this is your first year, it is imperative for you to understand the difficulty level of prelims. Okay, so in the last decade, the examination was very static. Prelims, mains examination, both. But the interview part was very dynamic. But what has happened in the last 5 to 6 years since the introduction of CSET, the prelims and mains examination has also converted from static to dynamic part. So you have to do a lot of analysis while answering. Previously, the questions would be like, write the features of say Manrega or the Food Security Act. But now there will be questions like how Manrega has improved the life of rural people or women, for example. Okay. But in the last 2 years, what we have seen is the prelims is again moving towards static portion, and which is very dangerous. Reason being, CSET is not there. Only one paper is deciding your future. So for prelims, I gave the examination in 2014. I was working in Adobe Systems as a software developer. So I was not able to prepare prelims at a factual level. I was preparing on the basis of the previous papers, so I was analyzing things but not ratifying the, you can say, factual part. So I was not able to clear the prelims examination 2014. Then I decided, okay, the prelims has given me a shock. I did not expect this paper. I left my job in 2015, February, and I started my preparation. Fortunately, see, there are two approaches to civil services examination. One is you focus mainly on optional subjects and in the process compromise your GS. Believe me, this is an option. Second is you give equal importance to optional and general studies. Since my option was mathematics, my approach was to focus completely on mathematics. Okay, so in the initial 4 months of my preparation, I completely gave entire time to mathematics, and in the 2.5 months before prelims, I did not touch my optional. I just went berserk towards reading all the stuff I can to gain as much factual knowledge as much possible to me. Okay, so just to give you a brief in the sense that now you are aiming for prelims examination 2016. So at this point of time, I would suggest not to focus on optional. The time is very less. Please start preparing for prelims completely. And the material you must be knowing, you have to complete your NCRTs, your basic material like Lakshmikant in polity, and say there are books for environment, Shankar IAS, or you can go for GK Today material. There are various materials available in the market. Just focus on one thing. You should fix your sources. For each subject, do not try to reach 3-4 sources and try to complete that. Okay. For example, in economy, I followed the notes of Mrunal. That's it. Nothing else. I read the books of macroeconomics in NCRT, but that book is not that important because it is at a very basic level. I completed Mrunal and I revised it several times, so that I have completed one source completely from the bottom of the heart. Okay. If you go for multiple sources, the problem is you will not be able to complete the single source, and the questions will come out from one source which will be a bit deep, which will never happen if you study the multiple sources. Okay. So for prelims, just focus on a systematic set of books or material. After you complete it, you must be going through your newspapers as well. Okay. Newspapers are definitely important. There is no doubt about it. If you are not reading the newspaper, start from today. Newspapers are very important just because once you read a news, you don't have to cramp it, or you have to write a note. Gaurav Agarwal used to do it, but you don't need to make the notes. When you start reading the current monthly compilation of the current affairs, that news will again repeat. And you can take the compilation from any institute. GS Score offers a good contemporary issue material. There are various institutes as well. I preferred using PDFs just so that I can highlight things in that and add whatever I wanted to add, which can happen in the hard copy as well. So newspapers will help in knowing things, what is going on in India or in the world. When you see the current affair compilation, you will strongly inherit that information, which will help you immensely in the prelims especially. Okay. Then comes to the dynamic part of prelims and mains examination. See, you read all the books and you go through all the newspapers, current affairs. That is the basic thing you have to do. Then comes the random part. Random part is, in the last month, say, you are left with 30 days and prelims is around the corner. My suggestion would be, take as much test series as possible. You don't have to buy them. You can share with them with the friends and other people. So do practice as much questions as possible. What will happen is, say from 100 questions, you are not able to do 30 questions. You will come to know that these are questions which are not known to me, and you will get the information out of those questions. Okay, so note down those points, especially in polity. I see you read Lakshmikant, but Lakshmikant is so factual that you have to cramp up every little information from it. So when you do the questions, you will realize that, oh, I missed that from the Lakshmikant book. Okay, so practicing questions will help you to find out little details from the books which you might have missed. Okay, so for prelims especially, do as many questions as possible. Let it cross 1,000 questions, 2,000 questions, no limit, just to clear prelims, because prelims is very tough. You must have seen the marks of Topper this year, and you may be surprised how much she got. But you understand, she is the topper in mains examination, mains plus interview, but she got very less marks on prelims. That doesn't make her less knowledgeable. But prelims is such an examination, but that you have to give an extra effort. The competition is very huge, so take the prelims examination very seriously. Then comes to the mains part. See, my option was mathematics. So my entire strategy was, I will work very hard in maths, I will score 300 plus in maths, and I will focus on GS in a minimum level, at a minimum level. But the problem is, when I counted how much I wanted to get in GS so that I can secure a better rank, I always thought that I will never get to the GS marks that I wanted to. So what happened was, after prelims, you have about 4 months for your mains examination. I gave 2.5 months of mathematics completely. I gave about 15 written tests of mathematics, and in the last 1.5 months, I was very delusioned by what to do, what not to do. I came to Manoj sir, met him. I wanted to know, sir, help me out. I don't know anything about GS. So what helped me in that period was the compiled notes of GS score that this institute offers is very good. In the last 1-2 months, the GS score institute gave me economy notes, environment notes, polity notes. All the notes were so important and concised, 60 to 65 pages. I read that only. I didn't have the time to even revise Mronal.org notes. Okay, so you can understand what was the situation at that time. I was, you can say, I thought that I will never be able to clear the mains examination. So that notes really helped me. But for you, those people who have humanities as optional subject, it is very important for you guys to focus more on general studies. You must be knowing what has happened to geography this year. There are people who have secured ranks last year and they could not cross 200 marks this year. There are people who have crossed and been a forest officer this year only, but they could not cross the geography hurdle in mains examination, could not even secure 200 marks. So it is very important for all those people who have humanities optional, geography, political science. Do not think that topper has got 308 marks in political science. I have a friend who has got 180 marks and he was getting huge marks in GS score. Okay, so unpredictability is the only constant with UPSC. Remember that. You may have written very well according to you, but you may not secure good marks in humanities. That was the only reason that I chose science, because it was predictable. Okay, so if you have humanities subject in mains examination especially, please do focus on general studies more than optional, because general studies will make you cross the mains hurdle. Okay, the biggest issue that people face in mains is answer writing. I also face this issue. When I wrote my first test paper in GS score only, I attempted 6 questions out of 20 in 3 hours. It happened in say 7 to 8 months before mains examination. So it was about 3 or 4 months before prelims. So before prelims, after giving 7-8 papers, I could reach only 13 questions out of 20. And I thought that this was the situation with me only. But I found many people who faced the same issue but did not come out in open that I faced this issue. But this is a genuine issue. This can happen to anyone, that people are not able to attempt all the questions. The only solution to this is set the fear out of you and try to attempt as many test papers in any institute. The important point is not what you have written. Important point is how much you have written. That's what I have found out. It is important. See, 1 or 2 marks, if I got 1 marks extra, I would be in 240 rank. I will have 240 rank. If I have 2 marks extra, if I have 10 marks, 20 marks extra, I could even secure a rank which will give me IAS. Okay, so single marks matter a lot. You won't believe. In GS1 paper, I attempted all the questions. In GS2 paper, I could not attempt 2 questions. One I did not know at all. In GS3, I was not able to attempt 4 questions. Okay, I could only attempt 16 questions, but I got 96 marks in GS3. Okay, that was a bit surprising for me, but the point I am trying to say is, if I could attempt 4 more questions in GS3 then on an average 4 into 4, 16 marks. If I had added 16 marks to my tally, I could secure a very good rank, 120 rank, 130 rank. Okay, so I can choose a cadre of my choice. So it is important to attempt the entire paper in mains examination. Okay, in mains examination, 2 subjects are such that most of the people don't know what to do about. One is essay and second is ethics. In ethics, I joined the classes of ethics in this institute only. Manoj sir guided me a lot. The problem with ethics is the paper is very lengthy. This year was also, the paper was very lengthy. The problem with ethics is you actually don't know from where to study. Okay, the institutes will give various notes. Various institutes will claim that we can make you get 150 marks. But the reality is, ethics is the only subject where you have to write what you feel in the paper. You will require a basic information which will be enough if you read the notes of ethics which are provided from GS score. That is enough. For example, what is corporate governance? So you will need the definition for that. What are good values? What are bad values? So there is a list of good values, bad values. You will need to remember those values. But ultimately, when the question is asked, what is happiness for you? That happiness should be yours. That happiness cannot be of anyone else. That happiness for me is driving a car with my friend. Okay, that can be a happiness for you, but you have to elaborate according to you what you feel about happiness. Okay, so ethics is one subject. I started preparing after prelims, and I gave about 10 test papers for ethics, so that I can understand what I am writing. I discussed the questions with Manoj sir, and he gave me feedback about my answer writing, and I improved according to that advice. Okay, the second is essay writing. See, I did not secure good marks in essay. I got 110. I expected 130 plus. But the point with essay writing is, it is very important to write a long essay, according to me. See, every essay, it is asked to write about 1,000 words in each essay. I wrote about 700, since my speed is slow. So, to write, it is very important to write a long essay, okay? And in essay writing, most of the time you have to analyze things, all right? So, if the topic is asked, education is a evil devil. Today's education is a evil devil. So, you have to analyze what the statement is trying to imply. The statement is trying to imply that education in today's world, though it is very necessary, but that education is creating people who are not, who don't have good values in them. Okay. So in that respect, you have to analyze further and further and further and further. You don't have to pinpoint various, write various points so to justify your answer, in the sense that education, for example, in private schools, they are taking various fees, they are taking very high fees, and they are not providing good education. So you don't have to go from one place to other. Just confine yourself and try to analyze as much as possible in the essay. Okay. Though it will be very early to share my interview experience, but I will try to briefly share some information. In interview, people are generally very nervous. I was also very nervous till the time I entered the room. Once I entered the room, I don't know how, but my nervousness was not there. I sat on the table and the entire board was sitting. The board was very cordial. Okay, so they were asking very factual questions. Only one question was there, which was trying to analyze my thought process. Okay, so they asked me, if you are posted in a district and you have had your education in the past in only private institutions, in public schools, and you have done your job in private companies only, so will you be able to send your child to a government school? This was asked to me. This was the only questions which was analytical, and I could answer this question with justified effect, and they were happy with this answer. The rest of the question was very factual, and I was not able to answer perfectly. I was confident whatever I was speaking, but I was not answering it correctly. I knew it. Okay. So what I did was, before starting the answer, I always said, I think this. I didn't say the answer. I always said, I think this. I may be wrong. Okay. So the point is, you have to be very, very confident in interview. If you are not confident in interview, then it will be very tough to score good marks. Okay. So I will not pressurize you to think about interview. You have your prelims right now. So I secured decent marks in interview, 173, and the highest was 209 this year. So at present, I would just like all of you to focus completely on prelims. And about me, I have secured 251 rank. I probably will be getting IPS this year. I will be preparing as well, and I will be giving prelims again. So don't see me as a competition. Everyone has an equal opportunity. If I will be writing the same answer which I wrote last year, I may be getting less marks. That's the unpredictability of UPSC. Okay. So it is very important for you to concentrate on prelims this year and give your 200% in prelims. Mains and interview will be very easy. Prelims is the toughest stage. Okay. Keep that in mind. If you are still doing your optional, please leave that optional. Start preparing on your prelims. I think this was it from my side. Any questions I would like to listen?
What should be the ideal number of essays for writing an essay in the exam?
Ideal number of essays. See, according to me, as much as you want to write, but you must practice at least 10 essays before mains. Okay.
And is it advisable to to write essays which are philosophical aspect related to it?
Definitely. There are two sections in essay writing. First section is philosophical. Second section is factual.
Factual means science and technology kind of thing.
For example, tourism related. This year I wrote essay on the importance of science and technology in agriculture. It was like technology cannot replace man. It was something like that. So this is a factual essay. You can write points that so many machines have been introduced in the past, but jobs have been created, not lost. अगर जॉब लॉस हो जाती तो फिर प्रोग्रेस कैसे होती, एम्प्लॉयमेंट कैसे बढ़ता? तो टेक्नोलॉजी के आने से देयर हैव बीन द इंक्रीज इन नंबर ऑफ जॉब्स, नॉट डिक्रीमेंट. So you can write various examples in this essay. But in section 1, all the topics, if you see, all the topics are philosophical. And I was looking at all the topics, I was thinking what to attempt. It was that kind of situation. And that was problematic for me just because I did not practice a philosophical essay. I did not get corrected by any of the teachers. Alright. And it is also advisable that if you write an essay, and once it gets checked from your teacher, it is good that if you give that essay to your friends for their analysis, because friends are very critical. They will always say that your essay is not good. Okay, my friends did. Okay, so it will give you insights what more can be written in the essay. Okay.
And should we include the personal intuition as far as it is possible in philosophical essays?
Yes. See, what happens in the examination is you have 3 hours. Once you start writing, you will not think about what is coming in your mind, what can be written. You will always think, I just want to finish my essay. Okay. So what will be any thought that comes naturally to you will be there in your essay. Okay, so if you are thinking that your personal intuition, whether it can be written in the essay or not, it will automatically be written because you won't have any other thinking at that time. The pressure is such that you will write whatever you are thinking at that point of time. You will get 15 to 20 minutes initially to structure your essay, what you want to write. But while you are expanding your essay, while you are analyzing your essay, you will definitely write your personal intuitions, whatever you are feeling at that point of time. The same thing what happens in ethics examination.
So how much should be the ideal time for doing the rough work before writing this?
See, 2 essays are asked these days. If you divide 1.5 hours for each essay, half an hour at a maximum limit is enough, is more than enough. You can think various points in half an hour. If you are not able to think in half an hour, that means you didn't have enough practice for essay. Okay, half an hour is more than enough. But the point is, if in 1 hour, what is the writing speed you have? Since my writing speed was less, I always gave 20 minutes to the thinking and gave 1 hour 20 minutes for writing the essay. You won't believe, in the first essay, since it was philosophical, I did not know much what to write. I almost gave 2 hours in first essay. And so I was very, you can say, nervous in writing second essay. I did not think about a single thing in second essay. I just started writing. There is a proper structure when you are writing the essay. See, there is a thesis, that is a summary of the entire essay in the first paragraph or the second paragraph. And then you expand your points. Say you have decided on 3 dimensions you will be writing your essay. You will think about it. You will write various points in that dimension, and you will expand. First dimension 2 pages, second dimension 2 pages, third dimension 2 pages. What happened with me in the second essay is I did not think about the dimension. I saw technology cannot replace manpower. I just started writing the essay. I did not follow any structure because time was very less with me. I had only 55 minutes or 1 hour with me in the second essay. That's why I did not score good marks in essay. 110 is not a good marks. Okay, so if you write 10 essays before mains, I can say that you will be able to understand what you want to write, and the speed will also get improved. Okay.
So one more last question is that should we also read current affairs for the prelim section?
Definitely, there is no question about it. See, this year was also a surprise for me in the sense that UPSC repeated its question from last year. Okay, and also there was lot of question from current affairs that was straightforward. Okay, so what happened with me in the prelims examination, I did not read the compilation, but I was constantly reading the newspapers. Okay, that helped me in marking the answers. But the moment I gave prelims, I understood the importance of the compilations. There was one question related to fertilizer declaration. It was related to bricks. So when I was reading the newspapers, I did not focus. You don't focus on what is written, where the event is happening. In bricks की तो वैसे भी इतनी meetings होती रहती हैं इधर उधर. Okay, so you don't focus too much on where the meetings are happening. But when you read the current affairs compilation, that minute information will be detailed. For example, fertilizer declaration, they will write what was done in fertilizer declaration. So that will fit in your mind. I scored 114 this time. Okay, you can say around 6 to 7 marks more than the cutoff. I was in danger if I did 3 or 4 questions wrong this year. So there were various questions like Amnesty International. So I knew the answer, but I was not sure. So I did not mark that question. That type of questions these questions are very easy to attempt. And if you have done the current affairs compilation and newspaper regularly, these questions are, you won't even see the option, you will directly mark the answers. Okay.
Thank you.
You can never know UPSC. Surprises are always there. In 2 years, they have given only factual questions. In the next year, they can come out with the analytical questions. So you don't know what UPSC can do. But it is the way they are moving forward, it is very clear that they are moving towards factual part in prelims examination. That's the only way they will be able to distinguish from one paper. If you try to analyze things, if you ask questions which are analytical in nature, then the cutoff will be very minute. You will score, say, highest is say 100. The range will be from 100 to 95 in analysis, in analytical paper. Okay, so it is, you can say, मजबूरी है UPSC की कि उन्हें factual question देने पड़ रहे हैं prelims में. Any other questions?
Hello. First of all, congratulations for your success.
Thank you so much.
And I wish you all the very best for your next step also.
Thank you.
So my question is like how to schedule my studies. Like for prelims, if I'm now, I'll start preparing actually.
Okay.
Earlier I was just focusing on mains. So like as in like should I study simultaneously all the subjects in a day, or first off I should complete one subject first of all, then start with the second, and moreover like I don't feel like revising the things I've read once. So what to do about it?
So what's your option?
Well, I'll be taking public administration.
You will be taking it, or have you studied it?
You can say I have studied bit, but
Okay.
I can't say that perfectly I am preparing. Yes, I cannot say that.
Okay, it's okay. See, right now, till prelims, okay, you should start giving, you can mark 10 days time for each subject. Roughly 80 days are left. 80 days are left, so you can mark 10 days for each subject, say economy, polity, environment, science and technology, and read as much you can read about it. Okay, so if you have not read NCRTs of geography, it is very important to read those NCRTs. Okay, though it looks very easy, but it is always advisable to complete the NCRTs of geography especially. Okay, you were talking about whether you wanted to study it simultaneously or single subject at a time. That depends totally on you. See, what I did was I always started two topics, whether from one chapter or whether from one subject or two subjects. The reason is, once you get bored reading so much about one source only, you can switch on something which you have not studied for a while. Okay, so if you take along with you two subjects or two topics of the same subject, once you get bored in one topic, you can switch to the other. Okay, and it will happen. It is a natural tendency of a human person that you cannot read one stuff for long. You will definitely get bored. Have you seen? Have anyone of you seen the videos of Mronal economy. Those are 60, 70 in numbers. Okay, so it took me 9 to 10 days for completing it, and that doesn't mean that I gave complete 9 to 10 days for that subject. What happened was, after 2 days I got bored seeing his face again and again. Okay, I really got bored. So I switched to mathematics in between. One day I gave to mathematics and then again back to the videos. So you have to, that depends on a person. Okay, that's why I want to say that there are various strategies. If you see the strategy of Gaurav Agarwal and Ira Singhal, those strategies are completely different. Gaurav Agarwal always relied on notes. Ira Singhal never made notes. Okay, so any strategy will work, but I can only share my strategy that when I got bored, I switched to some other subject. Okay, you cannot see there. You must have read in history Gandhiji's policy of struggle, truth, struggle. Okay, you can struggle in one subject. Okay, then there has to be a truce period in between, where you don't want to struggle in that subject. So switching between subjects can help you in revising all the subjects easily.
How about revision? Once I've read thing, I really find it very difficult to reread it. I mean,
if you are not able to read it, it's better to attempt the questions. And if you score poor marks, you will definitely read it. It will happen. I have scored 40 marks out of 200 in prelims. See, evaluating yourself in test series is highly important. Okay, in the first paper I wrote in prelims, after studying everything, I studied Lakshmikant, I studied economy Ramesh Singh. It was a GS course paper only, economy plus polity. I was giving the paper and I scored only 42 marks. I was like, what? Kya padunga main aage? So you will come to know after doing the questions that you have not studied enough. You have to study further. You have to go that extra mile to reach that level. Okay, and especially in subjects like polity, geography, these are such subjects that you should not miss even a single question. You can skip questions in culture, environment, but these are subjects you should go through thoroughly. From multiple sources you can go through.
thank you.
Okay, so the question is related to motivation, how to keep yourself motivated for the entire year. This is a genuine query and genuine problem of all the aspirants. I had the same problem. What happened was, why did I get demotivated? The reason was, I always thought about the failure. Kya hoga agar nahi hua to? I have left a job in software development in the IT sector. If you do not do not work for 1 or 2 years, then it is very difficult to go back to the IT sector. I always thought, kya hoga yaar, kuch nahi ho payega. So in that situation, what happened was 1 or 2 days always got wasted. Kya kare, kuch nahi ho sakta. Then I realized that you have to self motivate yourself in the sense that agar padhe nahi to kuch bhi nahi hoga. You have to study. Okay. So to come out of that shell, what I did was, I always made a timetable for the next 10 days, what I wanted to do, and tried to follow that timetable. In the middle, you always feel that I am not doing enough. I am not putting that extra effort. So making the timetable will help you in making you aware that you are doing enough. If you have made the timetable for 10 days and you are following that timetable, that will help you a lot. But again, that's personal choice. That was my way to come out of the shell. You may have other options. One person can see a movie and come out of a shell. Okay, 3 hour wastage. I wasted 2 days. So it depends on a person. This was my strategy. Anyone else? Thank you guys. All the best for your prelims examination. Me as well. Hope to see all of you in mains examination. And work very hard. Success is around the corner. All right. Take care, friends.